Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. It's great to have you here on a Friday review on the Cabral Concept. It's a fun show for me. I love being able to just kind of speak freely, talk about how the last week has been in the practice, what we have going on, update you on any updates that I have that are brand new, share with you a lot of the gadgets, the tech, the books, the different items that I love that I'm using in my own life, that I'm reviewing, that I'm reading, bring you those. And then, of course, I always try to give a little bit of content, meaning like what can you use that's actionable in your life at this moment in time. So last year and all of last year, every Friday review, I went through a super nutrient of the week. And I hope you go back and I hope that you've listened to previous podcasts, that you've gone back. All of the podcasts, they build off of each other. You don't have to listen to one to be able to get the other, but they really do build up what I want to be a true functional medicine education for the entire world. It's not even just functional medicine, because functional medicine is really a strange term nowadays. It doesn't actually tell you what you might be getting out of a practice. It means, well, maybe we're going to do some lab tests that isn't just blood work. Maybe it's hormones with saliva, or gut-based function with stool test or urine test, or maybe it's omega-3s with blood test. Maybe it's a hair tissue mineral analysis. That's what it's telling you, but it's not telling you how the person practiced. So I'm a huge believer in integrating all forms of medicine, because here's the thing. The end result is that the patient or the wellness client gets the best service possible. That they don't have to just look to traditional Chinese medicine or muscle testing or Ayurvedic medicine or bioregulatory medicine or orthomolecular medicine or functional medicine lab testing. That we can bring them all together. And when we use that, we get the benefits from each one. And why this is important is that every system of medicine is fantastic, and that includes conventional medicine. The problem is that if we're not looking to integrate all forms, we oftentimes miss something that the patient or wellness client could really benefit from. So that's what I hope to bring you in the Cabral Concept. It really looks at things, I believe, from an unbiased perspective. I talk about veganism. I talk about a predominantly plant-based diet. I talk about the benefits of adding fish into your diet. I talk about choline from eggs, I talk about all the different things, and then it's up to you to decide how you want to use it in your life. You can be vegan and follow the Cabral Concept. You can be paleo and follow the Cabral Concept. You can even do things like the carnivore diet or the keto-based diet and follow the thinking behind the Cabral Concept, which is integrative. I've given you reasons why people do the carnivore diet, but I tell you what you're missing by doing that diet. I tell you why it's working for you and the deeper root causes of what is really going on in your body. So these are all things that we try to bring up, that we just try to, again, I wanted to teach you. I've learned them through my travels around the world, my studies in everything, reading 3,000 plus books, 1 million plus pages of articles and books and research, and having great mentors, etc. So it's accumulated knowledge that I want to pass on to you, that hopefully you will then pass on to someone else. I don't need any credit for it. I don't want any credit for it. You can simply pass it on, teach others what it's all about. So that's what we try to do. And the Friday reviews, I just get to bring you a lot of those fun things. It's like kind of a wrap up, right? So this week, to get the show started, I want to welcome all of our new 100 integrative health practitioners that are in the integrative health practitioner course or certification. We had a lot of people sign up for level 2, which is amazing. So they'll go through level 1 and they'll learn about the de-stress protocol that I use in my virtual practice with people all around the world. This is the de-stress protocol. I write about it in the Rain Barrel Effect. Well, then you get 50 hours basically of additional education in video seminars where I'm teaching you. You can see me live on the screen. You can see me going through the slides. We give you the slide printouts. What else do we give you? Well, we give you 50 plus handouts that we actually use in our practice. It makes it really easy for you to then use it with yourself if you're just looking to heal yourself, or you can use it in your practice if you're looking to grow a health coaching practice. So a lot of fun. And then in level 2, we teach people how to read the labs and then develop more personalized protocols for people. And so we go through the omega-3 test, the organic acids test, the stool test, the adrenal hormone test, the thyroid adrenal hormone test, the hair tissue mineral analysis, and am I leaving one out? The food sensitivity test. So we go through all of those labs and we teach you to then teach others to use those labs. So it's a lot of fun. It's not every month, but every 4 to 8 weeks, we typically do an opening and we allow 100 people only in. So, typically we have sold all 100 openings within 24 hours, especially the second time we opened. And then typically within 2-3 days, we've sold all those spots. So it's absolutely amazing. And the reason we only do 100 is because, again, we could keep it open longer, but it's not the goal. The goal is to teach the next generation of health coaches out there, or to teach people. And we found that by inviting 100 people in, we are able to keep the conversations a little bit more intimate in our private Facebook group. So we have a private integrative health practitioner group, and I also do once a month live Q&As with the group where they get to ask questions and I answer them live over our Facebook group chats. So, to be honest, it's a lot of fun. I love doing it, and this is something that I'm going to be putting even more time and effort into. We're creating our IHP, ambassadors and all people who want to kind of spread the message and spread the word. So it's super exciting. It's a great time to be in this health field. It's only growing and growing and growing because, people are seeing, like, even mainstream media. I don't know if you saw this. I'll talk about it next week, but they're finally talking about how toxic suntan lotion is. So dermatologists for years have been telling people to put on sunscreen. And in the natural health world, we've been saying, wait, let's not just lather up with sunscreen because it contains cancer-causing chemicals and you're trying to prevent skin cancer. So it makes zero sense. And it also decreases your levels of vitamin D. So we preach smart suntan lotion. We preach smart, sunbathing. And I'll talk about this more next week. So again, there's never been a better time. This is what it's all about. And so I just want to welcome and thank all of the new integrative health practitioners for being a part of our community, because you are what makes it great. The second thing is this, and I want to mention this because we're super excited about it over at Equilibrium Nutrition. So before I get into my product review, my book review this week, and my lab results of the week, I want to bring you a couple specials. So the first one is this. It is these on Friday reviews. They're always timely. So right now with Mother's Day weekend is exciting for my mom, for my wife, for our kids to celebrate this weekend. It's really, a celebration of how much, our mothers do and how amazing they are in all of our lives. So the fun thing is, we're a functional medicine-based company. So how can we try to show the love for mom or for your wife or whoever the special woman is in your life? And so what we did was we created a couple of our top products, and that's our daily nutritional support shake, the pure chocolate flavor, which people are absolutely loving. So we're super excited. I know it took us about 3 years to create that for you, but we did it, and we did it the natural way with using, obviously non-GMO based products, organic based products, methylated B vitamins, the best, right? And we made it taste good. And that takes a while. And we are constantly formulating to make things the best of the best. So we're combining the daily nutritional support, 2 bottles of that, a 1-month supply, with 1 bottle of our advanced collagen support. Now, we have many men and women loving the advanced collagen support. Why? Because it's less animal-based product. It's typically only 30% of what you would get in any other collagen. And that's because we use 3 patented processes for a better delivery method. And you've heard me say this before. We already know the vitamins. We know the minerals. We know the essential fatty acids. We know these things. What will improve in the future is our delivery methods. And that's what we have with the advanced collagen support. You have there's no better delivery method in the world. We pay a premium for this product. You can absolutely get collagen for less than ours. It's not going to be anywhere near as good, because they don't have these 3 patented delivery. Now, we didn't create the patents, so it's not ours. We just chose to use these 3 that are going to absolutely deliver the best results in terms of improving your hair, your skin, your nails, your overall tissue rebuilding of the body. So that means more of that youthful look with hair, skin, nails, and the body's ability to regenerate. It's an amazing product. So what we did was we bundled those together and we took $30 off. So it's for Mother's Day weekend only, a month supply of the chocolate DNS powder, the daily nutritional support powder, and a 1 month supply of the advanced collagen support for just $99. So that's literally $30 off, and it's not going to remain. It's going to be for our Mother's Day weekend special. Check it out at equilibriumnutrition.com. Now, for one more item I want to talk about, this is going to be, we want to keep this at this price. This is our goal. We've reduced the price of the Thyroid Adrenal Hormone Lab by $100 so that we could get more people, this into the hands of more people. Here's why. We know the results that come from knowing your hormone levels, your estrogen to progesterone. Hopefully you checked out my podcast earlier this week on estrogen dominance. So important to learn about it and pass it on to others. You're going to see that on that lab. You're going to look at your cortisol levels all throughout the day, 4 times. You're going to look at your DHEA and testosterone, really important. You're going to look at your thyroid, but not just TSH. You're going to look at antibodies, right? The antibodies that I went over this week as well on Wednesday's podcast, I believe. Then we're going to go over free T4 and free T3, the hormone that's actually usable. We'll look at your vitamin D levels. We'll look at your insulin. And we will look at your hemoglobin A1C to look at how your blood sugar has been doing over the past 90 days or so. This is extremely important to look at. And these are vital numbers that I believe everyone should know. And so we wanted to, how can we get this lab test at the lowest possible price? So what we're trying to do, I always pull back the curtain, really like let you know how we do this. We are starting to get these labs in much larger bulk. And that allows us to get a more competitive price for us so that we can pass on the savings to you. That's always been our goal. A lot of these companies, you get the lab test from them, they don't interpret the results, you don't speak with a live human, and you don't get a personalized protocol. You don't, and that's where the magic comes from, is that I read every single one of these labs that are run, and then you get on a call with one of my certified health coaches. I've already gone through your labs. We've gone over your results. Every Monday and Thursday, my health coaches and myself, we get on a live call together and we go through all of these labs that have come through Equilibrium Nutrition. That's the big benefit, and it's what you don't get with other companies. And we're not going to sell your information. I don't know if you know this, but the reason why a lot of companies charge so little money and they lose money year over year, which, by the way, you can only do this if you're like a marketing-based company and you're looking to sell one day, is because they sell your information. And we saw that happen with 23andMe, right? The biggest genetic test company out there. Well, that would never happen. That would never happen with a company like ours. We're simply not going to sell your data. We just aren't. You have a certain code of ethics that you live by in life. And I live by a code of ethics that I would not want that done to me, so I would never do that to anyone else. That's the bottom line. All right. Let's move on from that. You can check that out. That's called the Thyroid Adrenal Hormone Lab over at equilibriumnutrition.com. And that is it. So that is it for the updates going on over at IHP and over at Equilibrium Nutrition. So it's equilibriumnutrition.com for all labs and nutritional supplements as well as protocols. And then it's integrativehealthpractitioner.org for the Integrative Health Practitioner course and certification. All right, the next one is this. I got my daughters a fun little fitness gift over the weekend because they see me wearing my pedometer, my steps tracker every day. And they always ask me, how many steps did you get today? How many steps did you get today? And it's a fun thing when I come home for dinner every single night. So I show them the steps that I got for that day. And of course, lo and behold, they asked me if they could get their own pedometer. So, of course, me wanting to instill healthy values and ideas into my children, I wanted to get them a safe pedometer, which means that there's no EMFs and that I didn't want them to have a wristband. I currently use the ring. It's called My Motive. I've done a product review on that in the past. You're welcome to check that out. It's called My Motive. I'm going to be most likely experimenting with the new version of the Aura Ring. I will let you know if I end up going through with that review. I'll talk with you more about that. And I like being able to have that accountability, meaning like yesterday, I was in the office all day yesterday. I mean, I really was. Like I was seeing people all day and I'm locked to my desk. So what am I doing? Well, on those days, I'm trying to walk to work. I'm also taking my lunchtime walk for sure, but I'm also trying to walk home at the end of the day. It's a long day. And so that day, I might not hit my 10,000 steps, but I can tell you this, if I took an Uber to work and I took an Uber home from work and I just got my lunchtime walk in, I might be at what most people are, which is like 3,000 to 3,500 steps per day. So I wouldn't hit the amount of steps that I want, which is 10,000 steps per day. On a Wednesday, I'm going to be honest, it might be like yesterday was 8,400. I might not hit my 10,000 steps, but I do my best every day, and keeping track of it is nice. Now, do I get obsessive about it? No. And that's what I want to talk about a little bit today as well. So I posted on Instagram. If you don't follow my Instagram stories, check them out. I always post a little bit, just the fun things I have going on, especially on the weekends, because I'm not tied to social media either. But on the weekends, I have more free time and I'm with my family and I'm having fun and I want to post to social media. So here's the thing. We always have to be careful with what we're instilling in our children, right? So we don't want to count calories with our children. We don't want to talk about foods that are good or bad. We want to talk about what the good and the benefits are for our kids. So do I want my kids to become obsessive about tracking their steps? No. But do I want them to know that staying active and being healthy is a good thing for life? Absolutely. So will I be asking them all day long what their steps are? Of course not. But at the end of the day, can we check in together if they choose to do this? Sure. And do I think that my girls are going to be wearing this pedometer for the next, 30 days straight? Of course not. I don't. This was something to teach them more about health and education. I don't track my steps on a daily basis. I hadn't worn this ring in probably 4 months. And then I said, you know what? I want to get back into it. Spring is here. It's beautiful outside. I need to be walking more. I want to track those steps. And so that's what I'm doing. And again, so we always have to be careful, really talking with our children about good and bad foods, exercise, staying in shape. It's not about that. With my two girls, and I'm even more cognizant, and I know that not everyone thinks this way, but I do. And that's because I have a practice that I've seen tens of thousands of people, and I know that I want to be really careful with how I talk about body image with my daughters and how I talk about exercise and all those things in general. So we never call a food bad. We don't say, oh, we can't have ice cream, it's bad. No, we don't say that. And we don't use it as a treat. We say, these are your healthy foods. You do this to have a healthy body. So you stay strong and your body, is nourished. So we talk about those things. We talk about being active and exercising, but we don't say, oh, you need to exercise in order to keep the weight off. We would never say that. So the other big thing, and I want to leave you with this, because this is very important to me, is that no matter what you tell your children, they may or may not listen, but they will always copy and mimic what you do. So you want to just be careful that you are not doing different things that you say, that your actions match your words. If I tell my daughters to eat healthy, but I'm eating cookies, they're going to say, okay, yeah, but he doesn't really mean it because he's eating cookies, right? Or they say, well, when I get to be an adult, then I'm going to eat a lot of cookies. And then they rebound, right, when they're in college, when they're on their own. So you always try to be the role model. And in my family, we're not super, we eat healthy, and because we only keep healthy foods in the house. But on the weekend, we will go out and we'll enjoy for just us. I don't call it with my daughters a cheat meal, but we'll go out and we'll enjoy one of those foods, whatever it may be. It might be a FOMU-based ice cream, which is a coconut milk-based ice cream, or it could be a cookie, or it could be whatever. Whatever. We're not going to say it can't be a particular food. We're just more careful 90% of the time, right? We're good, meaning in terms of keeping on with healthy foods, but we, again, 10% of the time, will have a little bit of enjoyment with it, a little bit of fun with it for the foods that most people like eating, all right? So that's it. And again, I use the wrong word sometimes. So not enjoyment, it's enjoyment meaning you get to just relax maybe for a second. But what we do is we teach healthy eating, and that becomes enjoyable in and of itself, because your body feels healthy. It's packed with energy. That's why I follow this to this day. So we're going to keep it at that. But I'll tell you this, it is a lot of fun. And it's great when I answered the door yesterday that my girls ran to the door and they said, look how many steps I got. How many steps did you get? And we compared. And my daughter at the time actually had over 8,000 steps, and it was more than I had for the day. And so it was funny. So, she got to say like, oh, this is a great thing. I'm keeping my body moving. But she's not trying to do extra necessarily. She's just looking at how active she is. So I'm going to link up they're used for both children and adults. You don't have to be a kid to use these clip-on pedometers, but it's a clip-on pedometer. And it's really easy to use. It comes with a lanyard as well. We can wear it around your neck. So that was a lot of fun. Just wanted to share that with you and just to follow up to all the comments and messages I got on Instagram. All right. So next up is a book review. And this one I don't know if I couldn't find it on a previous podcast. So someone asked me to review the book, and I could have sworn I reviewed this book before, but maybe I didn't. So if I didn't, it's called The Swiss Secret to Optimal Health. And it's by Dr. Thomas Rayu, I believe is how you pronounce the last name. And again, I'm most likely wrong on that, but he's a biological doctor. I talk about bioregulatory medicine all the time. And he has a clinic in Switzerland. And it's a world famous clinic. I believe it's called the Paracelsus Clinic in Switzerland, but I know that he's also tied to the Swiss Biological Medicine Center as well there. So could be multiple locations, and he is connected with the Bioregulatory Medicine Institute that I'm on the advisory board for and that I, wholeheartedly support. I did my bioregulatory medicine work, multiple places, but one with Dr. Premdani in the Netherlands, who's an amazing doctor as well. We did live blood cell microscopy, dark field, bright field microscopy, and I used that in my private practice for about a half a decade, and that was great. I still use it off and on today, not as much because we do, our practice is virtual, right? So we see people all around the world 90% or more out of the time. So that's that. Why am I recommending this book? Well, I was asked to do a review on it. So when I'm asked to do a review on a book, I try to get to as many as I can. And the book is excellent. It really is. It's a good book. And it talks about a lot of the bioregulatory things that you will not hear about here in the US because they're practiced more in Europe. That's why I'm very happy that I was able to study in Europe as well. Here's the thing. It's a great book. It talks about toxicity. It talks about heavy metals. It talks about the microscopy that I talked about. It talks about hair tissue mineral analysis. The only things that I'm not really as much of an agreement with is that he's talking about using more cheeses. And now the good thing is he's talking about sheep and goat-based cheese, which again, I'm a promoter of. But I'm not a promoter of a lot of dairy in general. And that's part of the daily diet. Now I understand that is more in the genes, shall we say, if you're from, let's just say the Netherlands or Switzerland or Sweden, but, not so much for other parts of the world. And he also talks about doing a fresh fruit juice in the morning. Now, I'm not dramatically against that either, because he does talk about adding the pulp, which is going to be a little bit of fiber. I prefer the fruit mixed in a smoothie, so it's easy to digest, but you get all of the fiber and all of the nutrients at once. I prefer to juice our vegetables for a lot of them, but not our fruit. I prefer to eat the fruit whole or blended in a smoothie. I love that he talks about a lower protein diet when most people are talking about a higher protein diet right now. And to be honest, it's an overall good health book. And if you're someone that just likes to read a lot of books on health, this is another one to add to your repertoire. It's only, to be honest, about 150 pages. And then the last 100 pages or so, or more, 120 pages, are all recipes and Q&As. So it's a nice book. It's a big book, but really it's 150 pages. And that's because the last half is all recipes, no pictures, but all recipes. And they're great things to be able to use. So there you go. One more book to add to your healing arsenal. And you can check out The Swiss Secret to Optimal Health. And I love promoting other doctors and the work that they do. And I love promoting, overall the Bioregulatory Medicine Institute for all of the work that they're trying to do globally. And that's why hopefully in the future, I'll be able to do more work with them. I'll be able to do some seminars. I might be traveling over to Germany this late October, early November. We'll see, right? We'll see what happens in the future. Once I finish up with a lot of my teachings for the integrative health practitioner, then I'll be able to do more seminars all around the world. So that'll be exciting. And thank you for, again, always staying tuned with that. Now, the last item I want to go over today is lab results, right? It's all about lab results. So what I'm doing each and every Friday, at least for the next couple months, I'll be going over what to look for on your lab tests, meaning like I want to teach you how to read your own lab tests. So each and every Friday, I've been going through different lab results and trying to give you the power, the control to understand what those results mean, and not just from a disease or no disease range, from an optimal range. And the reason why this is important is because most people won't be out of range. And I talked about this on the podcast, I believe on Wednesday, and that I was going through healthy ranges for your thyroid, right? So, a healthy TSH is 0.5 to 2. But the range for most doctors goes from 0.5 to 5. A lot of people are at 3.0, 3.5, and they're considered still healthy, but that's not. Yes, you're within the disease range. You don't have hypothyroidism, or if you're on TPO, you might have Hashimoto's, an autoimmune-based disease, but you're not optimal if you're a 3. You're not out of range, but you're not optimal. That means you may be missing some of the minerals your thyroid needs, or you might have a lot of the toxins that I want to talk about today. You might have aluminum. You might have cadmium buildup. You might have arsenic, or you might have something called mercury. Now, mercury we can get from all sorts of different things in the environment, but we can get a lot in dental-based work as well. We can get it in larger predatory fish, such as tuna, or swordfish, or a lot of the larger bluefish, or Chilean sea bass. So those are important to look at. And we know that there's more and more mercury in the seas every single day. So what I want you to do is I want you to understand that the hair tissue mineral analysis is an excellent way and an easy way for you to see if you have mercury overload in the body. Now, any levels of mercury is too much, but we see people often with just like 1 or 2 lines of mercury on the hair tissue mineral analysis. Now, sometimes though, we see it quite elevated, and that's a sure sign that you have mercury toxicity in the body. Now, that can affect you neurologically. It can affect your metabolism. It can cause cholesterol and inflammation-based issues. It can cause blood pressure-based issues. And it can cause inflammation. So then inflammation can affect any one of the diseases, right? Any autoimmune, anything like lupus or fibromyalgia, etc. It can affect headaches. So it can affect Alzheimer's. What we do is we like the hair tissue mineral analysis, especially for aluminum. But I want you to make a note, because a lot of people are asking about this. There are other ways to test mercury as well, if you believe that you might have mercury poisoning or mercury toxicity over time. Is that oftentimes you need to do something like it's called a heavy metal detox. It uses all natural cilantro, Crexel chlorella, and then a product called Florafilm along with vitamin C. Now, that's going to contain EDTA and a bunch of great natural chelators that are going to help grab onto that mercury. Now, it might be dragged out through your urine and not necessarily excreted through the hair. So you can do a urine-based test, which we hope to be offering in the future. And you can also do a blood-based test. So keep in mind that mercury loves to bind up with the tissues in your body. And that's why a lot of people have an excess of mercury in the body, and it's not always seen because it's bound up. So I want you not to be surprised as you start to do things like the heavy metal detox, which I believe everyone should do once a year, just for overall, because we're exposed to metals every single day. There's no doubt about that. You're exposed to aluminum especially every single day. If you're breathing, you're exposing yourself to aluminum, right? If you're drinking water, tap water, whether you buy a coffee out or tea out, not a TV, but a tea, you're getting some aluminum, right? Because aluminum is going to bind easily to the fluoride in water, to the chlorine in water. So we're getting the aluminum. If you're cooking with aluminum foil, if you're cooking on aluminum pans using aluminum spatulas, if you had dental work done, we're getting a lot of aluminum. We'll put it that way. So our hair tissue mineral analysis, great for looking at that. Mercury, I just want you to know that you may say it elevate any heavy metal, but especially mercury, after doing a heavy metal detox or some type of thing that's trying to grab and remove from the body. And that's because what it's doing is it's actually then going through the removal process. It's actually bound it, now it can excrete it. And I just wanted to give you a couple benefits of the hair tissue mineral analysis and some of the reasons why you might want to just ask your doctor to can you run mercury? can you run my mercury levels the next time you run my blood, right? Or hopefully in the future, we're going to give you a simple urine-based test to test those heavy metals and additional things like cadmium and arsenic as well. So hair tissue mineral analysis is our go-to, and I'm just letting you know you can see it on that, but oftentimes if it's a lower level, it could still be bound up in the body. Hopefully this was helpful today. Thank you so much for tuning into another Cabral Concept. Love bringing you these Friday reviews, and don't forget to tune in to our real world clinical episodes on the weekends where we answer our community's house calls, our community questions each and every weekend. Thank you so much for being a part of this global health community. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy your Mother's Day weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.
Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.